Hi guys, it's Erin, and today I'm going to do a quick review of Ascendant by Kimberly Gray. Way back in October, Kimberly contacted me and said, hey, I've been watching your channel, would you like to review my book? And I usually say no to these kinds of requests because I just don't have a lot of time, and I want to make sure that any books that I do accept for a review are ones that I'm pretty sure I'm going to enjoy. And that was the case with Ascendant. It sounded really intriguing. I checked out her website and the synopsis and Goodreads reviews and stuff. Like, I definitely did some research before I told her yes, but I did eventually say yes, and she sent me the book. And then she had to wait for a really long time before I read it and reviewed it because life happens. And so I am just so appreciative of her patience. She is really fantastic, and for that reason alone I think you should read the book. No, I think the book was fantastic though, and it's really a great shame on my part for taking so long to tell you about it. So just briefly, the world in which the main character Grace lives has been embroiled in a war for a really long time between the Black Wings and the White Wings. The main people in this fantasy world are basically angels. They're humans who fly, they have wings, and their wings are two different colors, white and black. Grace's adoptive father is the spy master to the king of the White Wings, and she's being kind of trained to be his assistant and later his replacement. And then Grace goes on her first solo mission, and she learns that things aren't quite exactly what she's been taught. I won't say any more about the plot specifically because I don't want to spoil anything, but such a good story, so good. So just a couple of things that I really enjoyed. I don't want to get into an in-depth discussion because, again, that would require spoilers, and I really want you to go and actually read this book. It's not like with the classics where they've been around for centuries, so, spoilers happen. Things that I really liked about it. The plot. Even though the synopsis makes the plot sound kind of simple, it's actually pretty complicated. Even, it's a thin book, but it is very twisty plot. The pace is really excellent. I found that I kind of was constantly trying to guess what was going to happen next, and I was usually wrong, which is fantastic. I love it when that happens. I can't wait to see where the rest of the story is going to go. The second and third books in the trilogy are currently being worked on. Can't wait till they come out and I can read them. The next thing I really loved was the characters. I felt like they were incredibly well-rounded. They were just super nuanced and interesting. Again, and she does this in such a short amount of time. Everything's laid out very quickly, very naturally. The world building is really great. You get just enough to get a sense of what the world is like, but not so much that you're bogged down in details that you don't really need. I really loved that the main character relationship in this story is a kind of found sibling relationship and not a romantic one. That was just really refreshing, and it's super precious and darling, and I love it so much. The other main relationship in the story is between Grace, the main character, and her father, her adoptive father, and it's not one you actually see in person very much. Grace is constantly referring back to the things that she thinks her father would want or what her father says, and you kind of start to realize that this relationship is probably an emotionally abusive one, which makes it a little bit challenging to read because it's done really, really well. So just heads up that there's some of that in the story, but gosh, that just added so much depth and nuance and complexity, and I spent so much time just because you realize you realize the way the relationship works before Grace does, and so you spend a lot of time just poor baby. She just wants somebody to love her. But that was just so great. We get some flashbacks, so we get to meet some characters from the past and kind of find out how the war started, which is really interesting. There's great kind of neat places to visit. There's a cat that's extra smart and great. He's a messenger cat. He's great. I like the cat. So those are just a couple of the things that I really loved about the book. I could just go on and on and on about it, but I'm not going to do that. If you are interested in reading this, you can find it on Amazon or at Kimberly's website at authorkimberlygray.com. It's Gray with an E-Y in case you can't see the thing. I highly, highly recommend it. I gave it 5 stars. It's definitely one of those books that I'm going to keep and probably reread, and I'm super looking forward to the sequels, like I said. No word on when those are coming out yet, but hopefully soon, because I really want to read them. So, have you read a book that surprised you lately? I would love to hear about that. And do you think this sounds like a good book? If so, let me know. And if you do read it and you need somebody to talk about with it, because I needed somebody to talk about with it and I didn't have anybody and I was really sad, you should definitely come back to the comments then, or you know, talk to me on Instagram or something. I would love to hear from you. So that is it for this video. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.